everyone, welcome to Yoga with Amber at the Wellness Center. Today we're going to be doing a full body yoga flow with the theme of flipping your perspective. Lately with all the changes we've gone through with the coronavirus, we've completely had to get creative in how we move forward with life. So I want this yoga flow today to kind of reflect that resilience and creativity that we've all had to utilize in recent times. So, but first, we're going to start with our breath work exercise. It's going to be easy to remember for those of us who are living in the 478 area code. This is the 478 breath work method. So let's just go ahead and sit up tall. Option to take the hands just on the knees. Option to close the eyes if that feels safe to do so. First, let's just take a regular breath in and exhale, let it go. Now you're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Two more times. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, great job. Release that, let it go. Return to your normal breathing. Note any changes that you feel prior to the exercise versus now. The reason for the odd numbers there, the inhaling for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8, is because that forces you to really think about what you're doing and sort of get out of your head and like get into the present moment and focus on your breath, because you kind of have to think about each segment. All right, so moving on, let's stretch it out a little bit. Get ready for our sequence. Take your right ear to right shoulder. Maybe take the right hand up and over. Give yourself a massage on the side of the head. Gently, not pushing or pulling. If you'd like to add a little bit extra stretch, press your opposite palm down into the mat beside your hip. And let's do it other side. Take your chin down to the chest. Let's clasp our hands over the head. Let the natural weight of your arms gently stretch the back of your neck. And now let's just take ear to shoulder, side to side. If you'd like, you can press the palms down on each side of the hips. Good job. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, reach as far as you can out in front of you. Let the head drop. Go ahead and walk those hands over to the side, feeling a nice stretch up the upper right side of the body. And back through center and other side. Coming back through center, we're going to walk our hands back on up. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing here. So we're just going to press our hands about a foot behind behind us, fingertips are pointed toward the feet. We're gonna inhale, roll those shoulders back and down, shoulder blades together, chest up toward the sky, looking up. Let that go. Inhale the arms up, reach tall. Exhale, reach toward the feet. If you can reach the feet, great. If you can reach a yoga pant, great. Whatever you can get, if it's up here, go for it. And then inhale, walk yourself back on up. So let's lie down on our backs. The knees will be bent. Go ahead and walk those feet closer to your seat. See if you can reach your fingertips to touch your heels. Next, you'll press those hands down into the mat, lift the hips up toward the ceiling. You may clasp your hands underneath your body, rolling your shoulder blades underneath you. And then gently let the hips come back down to the earth. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Let's just windshield wiper those knees back and forth from side to side. Great job. All right, let's bring those feet about hip width apart. Knees are still going to be bent. We're going to take our right foot up and over the left thigh. Keep this right foot flexed. We're going to reach through and grab a hold of the knee, bringing that left knee toward the face, keeping this right foot flexed. Take deep breaths, breathing into that right hip. If you'd like, you can rotate that left ankle to give it something to do. Now go the opposite direction of whatever way you were going. And inhale, bring it a little closer to the body, and then exhale, let that leg go. Place the right foot back on the ground. Now your left foot comes up and over, resting on the right thigh. Flexing that left foot, reaching through, grabbing hold of the right leg, bringing it toward your face. Rotate your right ankle if you'd like. Breathing into that left hip. Rotate your right foot the opposite direction. And inhale, bringing that right leg a little closer to the body. Exhale, release, let that go. And we're gonna take both knees into the chest this time. Give a little squeeze. Take your forehead to the knees as well. Give an even tighter squeeze. Exhale, release. Let these knees come over to the right side of the body. And you're gonna look to your left. Keep both shoulder blades flat on the ground. It's okay if your knees don't make it all the way to the ground, that's okay. Keep doing this and they eventually will. If you want to give a little bit more of a twist, you can take the right hand over the knees and sort of gently pull them toward the ground. On your next inhale, take the knees back and give a little squeeze and let them go ahead and fall to the left side. Now you're looking to your right. And taking the knees back into the chest, give yourself another little squeeze, forehead toward the knees. Maybe rock side to side or in circles. You go in circles, be sure to go in one direction and then the other to feel balanced out. Sort of think of this as a back massage, using the mat and just kind of doing what feels good, getting connected in with your body. And then you're gonna release that, let it go, stretching out nice and long, reaching the fingertips, arms are up by the ears, stretching out the toes, full body stretch from fingertips down to the toes. And release. We're going to come onto the left side of the body, coming up onto our left palm is going to be into the mat. Okay, so from here you can come up onto the left knee and hold here. So sort of like a supported side plank. Okay, feel free to stay here. If you would like to come off the bottom knee, you may. Just be sure to try to lift those hips up toward the ceiling. Maybe take your hand back down to the hip, and if you want to come here next, you can take that right foot gently out in front of you, holding here, and then place it back. Very good. Now we're going to plant the right hand, and we're going to come into your regular plank. Hands are directly below the shoulders. Really squeezing in through that core middle part of the body. Not letting the hips sink. They're not piking up either. They're nice and neutral. Really feeling this in your core area. All right. Now we're going to press back, coming into child's pose. We're going to do the other side in just a second. So for child's pose, your knees are wide, toes are touching. You're kind of sitting on your heels, walking your upper body out, letting your forehead rest on the mat. Take deep breaths here. If at any point during the class you feel overwhelmed or overworked, just come to this pose. This is a restorative pose. And just hang out here taking deep breaths until you feel like continuing. All right, so now it's time to do the right side. So I'm just going to switch to this side so that you guys can see what I'm doing. But now we're just going to do the opposite side of what we did before. So you're going to place your right hand down into the mat, come up onto the knee, and take that hand up, looking up at the hand. Option to stay here while you're building your strength and your balance. If you'd like to take it to the next level, you can take this right foot out, lifting those hips up, flexing the feet. Option to stay here, or take your left hand to the hip and just bring that top leg out in front, and then bring it back. Great. All right, gently let those hips come down to the ground. And we'll actually come back to, let's come over to our plank. All right. And then from our plank, let's press into downward facing dog. So your hands are hip width apart, feet are hip width apart. You're making your body like the shape of a triangle. Press through every part of the hand instead of dumping through the wrists. And then alternate bending one knee and bending the other. Let's take a few breaths here. And you're trying to press that chest down and toward the mat, but toward the knees, sort of. So down and back. Shake your head, yeah, shake your head, no. You just want a relaxed head and neck when you're in your downward facing dog. from here, take your right foot, point it high in the sky, as high as you can get it. Bend the knee, step it through to the inside of the right foot. Right hand, rather. All right. Then you're going to move your right hand on the inside of the foot. You're going to take your back foot and make it parallel to the short end of the mat. So we're kind of going to go through a sequence backwards. So normally this is where we sort of end in the sequence. But we're starting here. Take your left hand up. So you want your shoulders stacked one on top of the other. If you're not quite ready, then you can take your elbow to your right thigh and come here. If you have a block, you could place it here. Or just join me here. Either way, listen to your body and do what's right for you. All right? So the next pose we're going to is Warrior Two. So if you can make your way just going directly into it, you can. Or if you need to come up to the thigh first and then go into it, you can do that also. So this front knee is going to be directly over the ankle. You're working to eventually get this thigh parallel to the ground. Your hips are going to be squared, facing the same direction. Arms are parallel to the ground. So look behind you at your left hand and make sure that your arm is extended directly out. And then back over your right fingertips. Take 2 very deep breaths here. Exhale, release. One more. Exhale, let it go. Next, inhale, flip the front palm and reverses your warrior. And then take it back to your Warrior Two. Reach it forward, and then come back to your angle. And then you're going to take your hands down, place your right hand on the outside of the right foot, and then step it back to your downward facing dog. Alternate, bending one knee and the other. It's very good. All right, so we're going to do the left side in just a second. But let's just hang out in downward facing dog. Alternate, bending one knee, bending the other. If you need to take child's pose here before we move on to that sequence on the other side, go ahead and do that now. All right, so let's get ready to go into it on the other side. So I'm just going to turn around so you guys can see me, but we're just doing it on the left side. So in your downward facing dog, you're just going to take your left foot high in the sky, as high as it'll go. Bend the knee, bring it to the inside of the left foot. Left hand, rather. Place your left hand on the inside of the foot. All right, this knee is bent, and we're taking our right hand up. And again, you want to have an open heart, open chest here, so shoulders are stacked, looking up at this right hand. If you need a block right here at any level, you can do that. Or take your arm to your thigh. Oh, and you'll make sure that your back foot is parallel to the short end of the mat. All right, we're about to go to our Warrior Two. So gently make your way there. So your front knee is over the front ankle. Arms are parallel to the ground. Hips are squared. You can take a quick glance at your back foot, your back arm, and then over the front fingertips. 2 breaths here. Deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, standing nice and tall. Exhale, sit a little deeper in the pose. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Inhale, think of lengthening up through this front side body. Take it back to your warrior two. Lean it forward, take it back to your side angle. And that could be that it's down here on a block or up here. Take the hands down, plant them on either side of the foot, step it back to your downward facing dog. Alternate bending one knee and bending the other. Great, all right, so from here, look at the top of your mat. Let's just take some steps there. We're gonna hang out in a forward fold here. So you're just hinged at your hips. If you can, clasp your hands behind the back. And then gently let the arms make their way toward the ground as far as you can go. Taking deep breaths here. And then gently let the hands hang down toward the ground. And just let your head and neck relax. If you need to do a micro bend in the knees, or if you want to bend the knees a little more, you can. All right, from here, you're going to walk your hands over to the left side of the feet. All right, bend your right knee, okay? And then take your left hand up, coming into a twist. And looking up at your hand. Inhale, reach tall toward the ceiling. Exhale, let the hand come down. Walk it over to the other side. So straighten both legs this time. Walk over to the right side of the feet, and you're gonna bend the left knee. All right, and then take your right hand up, twisting on this side. So whatever hand you have in the air, the opposite knee will be bent. And on your inhales, always think of reaching taller. And then the exhales, you'll think of twisting a little deeper. And go ahead and let that go. Taking both knees straight here. Maybe kind of walk them out a little bit. You're gonna inhale, halfway lift, looking forward, flat back. Exhale, nose to knees, hug those calves. Bring your nose a little closer to the knees. Release that, inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale, hug the calves, nose to knees. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale, hug the calves, nose to knees. And then inhale, rise up tall. Reaching up high toward the ceiling. If it's in your practice, you can do a gentle back bend. And then exhale, bring the hands to heart. Very good. All right, from here, we're gonna go into our tree pose. So if you have a block and you'd like to stand on your block to kind of challenge your balance a little more, you can do that. If not, we're just gonna do this on the floor. So you're going to first start off, let's start with our right foot and plant that foot. Envision roots growing down through every part of the foot and really grounding down, okay? Next, you wanna find a focal point, something that doesn't move. And you're gonna take your other foot and you're gonna have a little kickstand down at the base of your legs. All right, and then you can have your hands in place. Find your focal point. Maybe feel like you have a string pulling your posture up toward the ceiling. Option to stay here, or option to place your foot below the knee. You are gluing that foot and leg together, pressing them both in toward the center. Okay, and once you feel comfortable and balanced there, you can start to grow your limbs, grow your tree, however you would like. If you want a little more, you can take your foot up higher over the knee. So, and then experiment with that. Different arm movements or different arm placement may challenge your balance. Sometimes swaying will challenge the balance, but if you find a place that just feels right for you, then you can stay there, or you can try out different placements. And if you fall out of it, just come back to it. Now let's all inhale, reach a little tall. Exhale, gently let that go. Shake out that leg. Maybe rotate that ankle a little bit. Okay? All right. So the next, we're going to do the other side. So now we're growing roots down through that left foot. We're going to find our focal point, something that does not move. We're going to do our kickstand. Maybe have our arms in place. If you want to stay here, stay. If you want to take your foot below or above, not on the knee, find out what feels good to you. You're squeezing that foot and leg together toward the midline, and then grow your branches. I like to goal post my arms or do a circle. You can even do prayer hands behind the back. Wherever you're at, inhale, standing a little taller. And then exhale, let that go. All right, wonderful. So we're getting a little closer to the end here. So we're gonna just start to cool it down. Before we do that, we're going to do our Malasana squat. So you can take your feet as wide as the mat. Your heels will be on the mat and the toes will be off. If you have a block or a pillow or something at home that you can sit on while you're working on your balance and strength, you can do that. But otherwise, we're just going to start to bring our seat down toward the ground. We're placing our right elbow inside of the right knee, left elbow inside of the left knee. Keeping our posture nice and strong. Take your hands to heart. Find maybe a focal point, something that doesn't move, and focus on your breath. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. One more deep breath. And exhale, let's take a seat. Very good. Taking the knees wide, feet, soles of the feet together. Inhaling, sitting up tall. Wrap the hands around the feet, opening them up like a book. And then exhale, keeping the back straight. Starting to forward fold. Find your edge, and then once you're there, you can let your head relax. On your inhale, start to make your way back up. Straightening the legs. Let's press our hands about a foot behind us, fingertips facing toward the feet. And we're just going to lift the hips up toward the ceiling, holding here. If you need a little more stability, you can actually bend the knee and come up to a reverse tabletop, whichever is easier for you. inhales, try to lift those hips a little higher. Exhale, go ahead and just let that go. All right, so we're here toward the end of our practice. I'm going to show you a few ways to flip your perspective or get upside down. So one easy way is to scoot your seat up toward the wall and get your feet up in the air, just like this. Option to place a pillow here under your seat so that it's a little more elevated. Okay, so another thing that you can do is to, you can kind of use the wall. Make sure you have sturdy hand placement, fingertips are spread wide, and you can actually walk your feet up the wall. Or if you're familiar with other inversions, you want to do that right now, I recommend holding inversion for at least 20 seconds, getting those feet up the wall. The longer the better. If you'd like to do your Shavasana with your feet up the wall, you could do that. I wouldn't necessarily do not do a headstand for Shavasana, but doing an inversion toward the end of your practice is very helpful. You want to hold that for at least 20 seconds. So your pick here, and then I'm going to do another one called Dolphin. So forearms are down on the mat, hands are in fists clasped together, and then you just lift your hips up, kind of like downward dog, but you're on your forearms. This is a great one to hold for 20 seconds as well. And if you have to come out of it, go ahead and do that and just come back in when you're ready. And wherever you're at, you may find yourself lying down on your mat, getting ready for Shavasana. Before we do that, I'm just going to explain that the dolphin pose we just did, it helps release a lot of feel-good chemicals in the brain, or if you get completely upside down, like in a handstand on the wall, it'll really help. It helps with calming anxiety and alleviating some depression. So that's always a really good one to end your practice with before you go into Shavasana. So from here, go ahead and start to lie down on your mats, get good and comfortable. Start to deepen your breath. And I'm going to let you guys do your own thing for Shavasana. Since we're not practicing here together, you may want to have some soothing sounds or a certain kind of music, or maybe you want complete silence for your Shavasana. We did a 30-minute practice, so you usually want to do at least 10% of your practice time. So I would suggest at least 3 minutes of just lying in stillness and focusing on the breath. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for practicing with me. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.